Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning and welcome to World This Morning. I am your host Ahmed Nawaz and joining me today is Maheen Jafri. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed, and a very warm welcome to World This Morning. To all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in to PTV World. How are you, Ahmed?
I'm good. I always say I never think I'm a morning person, but filling in for Shehzad Bhai, I think I'm going to become a morning person very soon.
Yeah,
So how was your morning so far?
Morning was good because there was this cool breeze because we had, stormy
Weather
last night. It was really kind of horrible, but we enjoyed because of the soaring temperatures. We kind of got a bit relieved from that.
Yeah, Islamabad is a beautiful city, and I read a tweet as well where somebody said that people living in Islamabad are actually blessed. So I guess all of us are blessed. But yes, we do have that special weather some days or not. But great morning once again. Some great things planned for you. Some great things coming your way on the show as well. A lot to talk about. I think today what we've got on the show is going to be very special because there's a lot of insight into this field. But before that, we do know that we've got to give you the latest roundup of what's happening in the country as well. And that is, of course, the top stories for today. And you want to know what's happening and you want to tell them as well?
Yeah, why not? Why not? We would share
So
with
let's
viewers.
tell you what's happening with today's top stories that we will be going with. First of all, it's definitely Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. And we'll talk about him. And Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, while speaking in the National Assembly session, has termed Imran Khan's address a grand conspiracy against the state of Pakistan. Yes, that was, of course, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. And moving on now, we've got some more things to tell you as well. And obviously, like I said, that we've got so much news that we'll be telling you.
Ahmed, Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has actually reaffirmed Pakistan's resolve to further strengthen its all-weather strategic cooperative partnership with China through the rapid implementation of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Of course, a big news for Pakistan.
Absolutely. Pakistan and China are iron brothers, as they say, and an all-weather strategic cooperative partnership that Pakistan and China enjoy with each other. So the Foreign Minister, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, once again reiterated that these are strong fraternal ties between these two countries.
And next, we were talking about the temperatures. The global temperatures are rising, and we have to be really careful because Pakistan is going to be the 8th most effective country.
The United Nations has warned that global temperatures will temporarily breach the benchmark of 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels in one of the next 5 years. UN's Met Organization, in an annual climate update, said the chance of global near surface temperature exceeding 1.5 above pre-industrial levels at least 1 year between 2022 and 26 is about as likely as not. Now, this is very interesting because some of you who are familiar with the Paris Climate Accord as well need to know that there has been a global outrage against global warming, against the rise of temperature, carbon emissions, and countries who have signed that Paris Accord have agreed to bring temperatures down globally as well. So it becomes very important because this is a world we all share.
Yes, exactly. Ahmed, and what's next that we are sharing?
Absolutely. We've got so much news as well. Now, my favorite because it's sports and it's motorsports. And in motorsports, it is grand as it can go because we've got the F1 season going on. Very interesting this time. And it was the Miami Grand Prix where Max Verstappen for Red Bull has clinched the title. It was a very, very interesting race. And Max Verstappen is also leading the points table. When you talk about the points, he's there on 26 points on the leaderboard for the season. Too early to call the champion for the season as well. A lot of races to go. And of course, Ferrari has been outstanding so far with the start of the season. I think the young blood is showing. And that's why Charles Leclerc for Ferrari, the Monaco-born driver from Monte Carlo, was there. And he stood second in this race. Ferrari finished with a 2-3 podium. And Leclerc is on 18 points on the points table, and it's a great competition between Leclerc and Max Verstappen. And those of you who are familiar with F1 would now have a hunch that Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion, Sir Lewis Hamilton, dropped down to 6th place, which is probably a new low for him as well, and he would really want to get back to winning ways as well. Right, that's the top stories that we've got. But like I said, motorsports is getting interesting. You better watch that F1 season. But now, like I said at the intro as well, Maheen, we've got something very interesting to discuss.
Something very interesting. But before that, I would like to ask you, Ahmed, have you ever been to the northern areas of Pakistan?
Absolutely. Who hasn't?
Can you please comment on that? How beautiful it is for our viewers? For
I think the entire part of Pakistan, I categorically do agree that the north has its own scenic beauties. But I think even if you go to the other side of Pakistan, you witness the history that you can see in Bahawalpur, in Multan, in southern Punjab as well. I think that is also interesting. But when it becomes the northern side of it, when you go there, you get a feel of God's blessings, Mother Nature,
Exactly.
plentiful. Pakistan has all kinds of terrains.
We have got the oldest civilization, Ahmed. We have got the religious sites, we have historical sites, and there's so much more, so much scenic beauty, so many landscapes, the highest peaks. So you talk about it, and we have all that in Pakistan.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about tourism, we also talk about the hospitality management. And ladies and gentlemen, this was the big surprise for you. We'd be talking about this today in the morning show. And we are very lucky to be joined here today by Dr. Moinuddin, who happens to be Corporate Director, HR and OD, Serena Hotels. Welcome to P2B World, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good.
And we have Mr. Eric Debita, who happened to be hailing from Switzerland, and he landed in Pakistan today this morning. Welcome to P2B World, sir.
Thank you.
How are you, Eric?
I'm great, thank you.
It's been one great journey from the airport till here, hasn't it?
Totally correct, yes.
It's quite an experience, as he just said.
Very happy to be here today.
Wonderful, wonderful indeed as well. Now, the hospitality sector becomes very interesting because, this is something we go on with our daily lives, going places. You might be going to a restaurant, you might be going to a hotel, a motel, you might be going up north, anywhere around the world, you'll get a taste of this. But it's very interesting, Maheen, because I feel that it's a complete philosophy and a science involved with it that we don't understand yet.
Ahmed, you raised such an interesting point. And coming to you, sir, I would like to ask you a very basic question, that there's a kind of misconception in people when we talk about hospitality management and hotel management. So one, how do we differentiate? And then what do we mean by executive education?
Thank you very much, Maheen, for the invite. I was also here before in this program last quarter, and Ahmed and Maheen, you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, sir. We're
filling
lucky
for
to have you
Shehzad
here.
and Shiza.
Yes, sir.
So coming to your question, hospitality has a bigger spectrum as compared to hotel operations, so to speak. It includes the whole ecosystem of the tourism, which starts from arrival, your immigration, your how you are received, your travel agents, then your tour operators, and then hotel itself. So it has a broad spectrum. The whole service ecosystem is hospitality.
And what do you exactly mean by executive education?
This program is actually targeted at the middle management. Normally at the lower end we have vocational side, where we have vocational trainings. And middle management is the place where we need trainings for the practitioners, which generally is not there available in the normal university mainstreams. University there are students, while in the practice there are practitioners. So there is a requirement always by the industry for the industry. So we thought of coming up with this program.
I was talking to Mr. Eric right before the program, and I was asking the same thing. Does this involve the workshops that you're conducting? Does this involve the job creation on the job site, or the personal skills when we talk about leadership or communication skills, or the right words at the right time?
Well, the hospitality industry is focusing a lot on soft skills, and therefore communication skills are part of them. But we also try to convey as well a broader understanding of the industry in terms of statistics, in terms of trends that are upcoming. And as you have rightfully mentioned, the hospitality industry is really broad. And when you study that field, you open up to a whole range of positions and jobs all around.
But there's so much going into it. But I think one of the factors that has probably redefined the hospitality industry is probably the use of technology, hasn't it?
For sure. Technology has changed the way we perform in a hotel, or even in how we book a hotel room. But this being said, the core is being able to take care of people. We are in the people's industry, and therefore this is one of the core skills that you need to develop when you want to succeed in this industry.
Definitely. I think there are a lot of hurdles that come in when you talk about the hospitality industry. There's a lot you want to talk about. Taking care of people, definitely a very tough job, and I guess not everybody's the same. So you've got to cater for those millions and billions of moods and the likings and dislikings. But I think that's that's something that you're always prepared for, aren't you?
Yes, that's what we call a mood meter. So and your mood meter, like your pulse, it changes with the kind of experiences that you get. In the morning, you may need a cup of coffee. So if you're getting your cappuccino shot, your mood may go up. So it's always, managing the customer moods. Yeah.
Well, mine, you love coffee, so I think that
I
one's
love
for
coffee and chai as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big tea lover.
Okay.
So, so I want to talk about youth and career here. Not a lot of youth are familiar with this, even with this term. So how do we kind of guide them to this career, which is very fulfilling and which is going to in turn provide a lot of jobs as it has different service areas. So how do we do that in terms of guiding the youth towards what you're doing?
As an industry, Mahi, this is a very soft industry, and that requires a lot of soft skills. Once I said coffee, Ahmed picked up that, coffee definitely boosts the mood.
Yeah,
so you have to understand the soft nuances of the customer service, the soft skills, which generally are missing in normal academic environments in universities. There is more focus on the education side, on the content side, while the experience itself is context oriented. So if you are a tea lover and I start selling you coffee, you may not
that
like
would
it,
not
right?
work.
The mood meter
But
would.
if I say a cup of mixed tea in a Pakistani style with ginger and elaichi, you may go for it, right?
Yeah.
So it's again the same. So in the practice, what's required, as Eric also said, it is the soft skill side of it. That needs to be work, and people who have got their soft cut out, their personality for hospitality, they should join.
So there'll be so many factors there that obviously contribute to this, and like I said, it's a complete philosophy and a science that is involved. But Eric, what are some of those important factors that as a young graduate probably, or a young lad or a lady who wants to step into the hospitality business, or academically or professionally pursue it, what are some of the factors that initially they need to be aware of?
Well, one of the key factors is them to understand that the hospitality and tourism industry accounts for 1 job out of 10. And therefore, there's a huge potential for employment, number one. And also, there is a huge potential for progression as a career. You can start as a waiter and end up as a general manager. Some of the most important players in the industry have started as a line employee to climb up to Marriott's CEO position, for example.
That's very interesting. I think that's probably a big misconception that people don't know about, that there is career progression. People might think that you might end up in one field, and that might be that.
Coming back to Eric, you told me that you've been around the world, of course, and many countries, and doing these, conducting these workshops. How do you find Pakistan, and what kind of scope do you see in this tourism industry and hospitality management?
Well, Pakistan has a huge potential. You have mentioned earlier the natural beauties of Pakistan. And this is one thing that the tourism industry is craving for at the moment. If you want to succeed in the tourism as a destination, you need to offer an experience. And I believe that Pakistan has everything required to offer a genuine experience, should it be through the sea, the nature, the mountains. And therefore, Pakistan has a key role to play in the area, but also in the world.
Absolutely. Very interesting things that Pakistan has to offer. But I think when we talk about Pakistan, there are certain factors and certain things that need to be addressed. And Dr. Moin, because you've been part of this entire culture of hospitality in Pakistan, and because you're associated with Serena Hotels, who's got a huge footprint up north as well, in Hunza, and then of course the Sugar, if we talk about Kaplu Palace, the Sugar Fort, all these properties that Serena owns even in major cities as well. Being associated with this business, with a hotel company that's got a footprint, what are some of the issues that you still feel need to be addressed in order to make this industry grow and cater for the problems that people have. Because for example, for one thing, if I address it on part of people who want to go north, who have always said that once they go to any other country, they can digitally map everything. That's one thing that is missing, for example. What else do you see can be addressed as a policy decision?
Ahmed, in the start you said, you know, there is a lot of potential for tech in tourism.
Yes.
So technology gives a lot of leeway to customers and also to the hotel owners and operators. I think more and more technology, more and more communication infrastructure, number one. Secondly, if you look at the northern area especially, you know, we are disaster prone area. Our ecology is very fragile, and so is our cultural tapestry. So any hotel intervention, any business intervention is good as long as it gels with the fabric of the ecology of the area, and also gels with the cultural side of the context, and also brings an economic engine of growth. So such interventions which are in partnership with community and which are owned by the community, I think it's an excellent example where, you know, you kind of create a growth opportunity for everybody, which is fair and equitable.
But that's something smart that you guys did, because what you did up north is preserve those cultural heritage of those properties and the community as well.
Yeah, actually these all old historic buildings are magnets. So they already have their own magnetism of attraction. So the thing is just you create a story around it and you restore the asset in a way that is culturally harmonized, that aesthetically harmonized with the area. Then, as Eric also said, that people come for authenticity. So more the authentic experience is, the more people are going to give a value to it.
So it is going to serve basically double purpose. You can be there for the tourist spot as well, and for the knowledge that you're imparting there.
And the preservation of that culture as well.
Exactly, because that's extremely important in a country like Pakistan.
Because I know for a fact that Maheen is very interested in these cultural things. I know her strengths. So it's good because we've got a vibrant culture, don't we?
Yeah, true, exactly. So I would also like to ask you, what else do we need to do? Are we doing anything for rural tourism or for things like that, or any new strategy that could really boost these things, especially if we want to give this message through this platform to our youth?
In Pakistan, there is a lot of potential for homestays, where apart from big hotels, you also tend to live with the community or share an accommodation with local people.
True.
So that can also give you a window to the culture. So if it's done in a very delicate manner, keeping in view the sensitivities, which is cultural and environmental, I think it will be a lot of potential, especially for youth employment, because all the young persons who are there in the cities, they can have their platforms, or they can become ecotourism guides and take people to the mountains while giving them awareness about the ecology, about the mountains, about the ecosystem. I think it's going to be a great win-win.
Lovely. So, Eric, do you plan to go somewhere else in Pakistan? You're here for just like about a week. Where else do you plan to go besides the workshops that you're going to conduct?
Well, I hope to be able to go around Islamabad and to be able to enjoy its nature sceneries. I've been informed that not far we have mountains around.
Absolutely.
Coming from Switzerland, I love mountains, and therefore I would love to go.
Well, we've got some fantastic hiking trails as well. If you like them, I'm sure they're going to introduce you, because they've got annual hiking things as well. So they've got their calendar. But you know, Maheen mentioned a very interesting point, and I want to touch on that, and that is creating employment through this industry. Now, we do know that job creation is a huge topic in the global market right now, supporting the economy, supporting households, supporting small businesses that might be associated with the hospitality industry. How vast can this opportunity go?
It's tremendous. As I mentioned earlier, 1 job out of 10 belongs to the hospitality industry. It is in the world, it's the 3rd provider of income. Just below industry and fuel. So it is a great provider. On top of it, there is a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurship. Hospitality is also a fertile ground for people who want to build up their own company. they can start small with small restaurants and then move up to accommodation, as Dr. Udin has mentioned. We have a lot of trends like agrotourism. We have also cultural heritage. So it's really embedded into the society, and the potential is.
But there are roadblocks in between, aren't they? I mean, there are barriers that you need to overcome sometimes. Things might not go according to plan. So how well, because you're a hospitality consultant yourself as well, how well should one in the hospitality industry be equipped to face those challenges, to face certain barriers that might put you off, but at the same time you do know that this is where I need to be calm, collected, let my words do the talking, and not go into that aggression? How well should one be equipped?
Well, as we have mentioned earlier, hospitality is about managing with the uncertainty, managing with people, and therefore you need to constantly adapt. So the number one skill that, apart from communication, that should be acquired is the ability to change plans, adapt, and improvise.
Flexibility, basically.
On a constant manner.
So if a person is by nature a grumpy person, he cannot, come in this field.
Sure. Flexibility, something we're doing daily in Pakistan, aren't we?
Yes, of course. Yes.
But so much involved in it as well, Maheen, isn't it?
Yes, so much. Coming back to Dr. Moinuddin, so there happens to be a kid in our family who opted for this career, and he had to actually convince his parents. How can we, go about it? Because kids are convincing parents. So how do we plan to do
I think this is probably one of the most important questions that you ask. Why is this field not encouraged enough in Pakistan? Why?
Yeah, that's a big question.
See, if you're a parent yourself, you would understand that kids always convince you for unconventional. And we parents, whenever we become a parent, we go for the risk-free options generally, which are there. So it may not be directly with hospitality per se, but goes with any other profession of choice that your kids may go for, while you may feel, no, this is a bit risky, so you should go. But to give comfort to parents, this is the most easiest industry. Very easy to enter, very limited barriers, and rest is all attitude of an individual. If the attitude is positive and flexible or adaptive, as you said, then sky is the limit.
Yeah. So all about the mood meter.
Yeah, it's all
about the mood meter.
I think it's all. Eric, would you like to say anything to the parents out there? Because in Pakistan, there are certain fields that are encouraged very much, and when it comes to hospitality, like Maheen said, children have to
really convince, and it's a comparatively new field, and they're not even much aware with the term. So what would be the message that you would like to, give to the parents?
For sure, I do understand that coming from a parent's perspective, when someone is aspiring to that type of career, they always see the negative sides, because you work during holidays, you work during weekends, you
every
work
time.
so it's not as a banker or as an insurance clerk, very stable per se, but it's passionating in terms of what it brings you. So you get richer from the connections that you make in this industry. And although we have been through a very difficult period with the COVID, this industry will never die. I mean, people will always have to eat, to experience, to be going into accommodations, to be visiting, even in a national level. And therefore, it's a guarantee for an employment for life. And therefore also, as we mentioned earlier, the progression, the diversity. We normally say that when I graduated, I would change careers a minimum of 7 times. So far, I'm at 9. And nowadays, when a student enters into hospitality education, we advise for, we recommend, or we think that they're going to change 14 times their career.
That's very interesting. What have those 9 careers been?
I've been working in the hotel industry, in the restaurant industry, in the casino industry.
So they're all interlinked, because this is basically related to that.
As mentioned earlier by Dr. Udin, it's part of the hospitality and tourism industry, and the number of positions available is tremendous.
Diversity.
Exactly.
Yes,
so
there's so
these
much
were not very
diversity.
drastic switches. I was thinking you have switched from one career to another.
Yeah, maybe he's an engineer, then a doctor,
Yeah.
then a pilot.
I was also thinking
But that's
something
interesting.
like that. Wow.
But thank you, Eric. Thank you so
very
much.
much for joining
Thank you,
us.
Dr. Moin,
Thank
as
you,
well.
Ahmed.
Always
Thank you,
interesting.
Mahin.
But I
Thank
think
you.
one thing is for sure that this is an industry that if you love people, if you want to take care of people, if you want to spread happiness, joy, and also I think to have a diverse cultural knowledge as well. I think this is the field to be, isn't it?
This is the field to be, Ahmed, and I would also like to give a message to the youth out there, since we have 60% of youth, we have a youth bulge. This is our power, Pakistanis. You know, the thing is that as they gave the message to the parents, this is this is having a huge potential. This industry is great. It has lots of service industries, so you can have lots of opportunities for job. So for all the youth out there, you can convince your parents and you can be someone different.
And I think, as Eric highlighted as well, so many fields attached with the hospitality industry as well. I'm always a Gordon Ramsay fan, so I think the restaurant one was really interesting. But I guess all of these are there for you for the taking, and I think for parents as well, if you feel that your child wants to go to the hospitality industry, I understand there are certain fears as far as job security and economic turnouts is concerned. But one thing is for sure, a never-ending business. This is the hospitality industry. On that note, we're going towards a short break. But when we come back, we've got some more interesting things on World This Morning. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to
Welcome
World
back.
This Morning. Now, we've got very interesting things coming your way because, Mahin, there is always a place for music in our hearts.
Yes, exactly. And before going to this short break, we were talking about entertainment and luxury. And when we talk about that, definitely one thing that comes in your mind, and that is music.
Music, of course. And I think music brightens your day. It gives you a good start to your day as well. It can calm the mood as well. It can help in emotional times. So music is a language which transcends every other language that is there, a universal language. And we'll be talking more about this. We're very lucky to be joined by somebody who's going to be entertaining us and also telling us about his career. And also at the same time, we'll also know about certain things that musicians go through when they are going through this career as a singer, as a musician, as a vocal artist, anything you want to call it. But what are some of the challenges that are there as well? We'll discuss those. And we're very lucky to be joined by Mr. Junaid Iqbal. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
How are you, sir?
Good. Thank you so much.
Well, let's start off with the song first of all, and then I think we'll go. But what are you entertaining us with first of all?
Well, I'll start off with one of my original songs that's coming out soon, inshallah.
Oh, so we're very lucky.
Lovely.
Yeah, thank you. And this
And
is
the title goes like?
Chand aur Tare. It's a
Wow.
conversation between moon and the stars, and it's Allama Iqbal's poetry. And I think it resonates with my personal life and what's
And
going
I
on
hope
in
it
the world.
resonates with many of you out there. Let's listen to it.
La 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 डरते डरते दमे सहर से तारे कहने लगे कमर से नजारे रहे वही फलक पर हम थक भी गए चमक चमक बेताब है इस जहां की हर शय कहते हैं जिसे सकून नहीं है होगा कभी खत्म ये सफर क्या मंजिल कभी आएगी नजर क्या
Wonderful.
Lovely,
What
lovely.
an amazing start to this segment as well. But very interesting, a lot of philosophy going in that song as well.
Yes, exactly. I think as you grow older, you realize that everything is, going around in the circles. And you have few questions about life, that whether the struggle and your goal, are you going to achieve it or not? So regarding that, I thought it was a pretty good lyrics, the poem written by Allama Iqbal. And it's a conversation between star and the moon, that they are just complaining that whether there will be an end, whether we're going to reach our destination, or it's just going to be going around the circles.
Round and round.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the moon comes in and gives the answer to that. That's the rest of the part.
The moon always gives the answer.
Yeah, the moon always gives the answer.
Okay, so tell us a bit about your journey. How did you first start it, and how did you actually discover that it's inside you? Because of course we cannot,
Explore it easily, yeah.
Well, I think it was. I was brought up in the Middle East, so over there, I used to sing for my school, Milli Nagmas and all that stuff when we were young. So from there, I heard the first album, Junoon, and Inqilab album, and I got blown away. And from there, I started just singing. So I thought it was good, and then later on, obviously,
So firstly, you took it as a hobby, and now you're taking it as a professional career.
Well, semi-professional career, because you can't really, earn a lot of money unless you're very famous as a musician.
It's a long journey.
Yeah, it is a long journey.
So
yes.
tell us about this song. Are you going to be producing only this song, or you were talking about the whole album?
Well, I've already released 3 songs. Actually 4 songs. One song was with Junoon, that was Naujawan, Tujhe Salam in COVID in 2020. Salman Ahmed produced that song, and I was a part of it. And after that, I was a part of another song, that's Dil Mein Pakistan. His sons are my friends, so we made a song about Pakistan. And then after that, I made 2 single songs, and this is the 3rd one, and then the 4th one.
But because the inspiration has been Junoon, and some of us have grown up with that brand of music, we're very lucky to be there. They had a completely different genre when they first came onto the scenes. A lot of Sufism was going into their music. A lot of, I think, the concept of finding
Sufi
one's own
rock.
self was there. So that inspiration is very deep. So were you inspired with that same concept?
Well, I sort of never liked the other kind of songs. I was always attracted to listening to those kind of songs, and my inspiration was that as well, because I think the lyrics were always deep, and even though you just listen to the song and it's not something you would just listen to anywhere, but it used to connect to your heart. The lyrics had meaning in it, and you could just basically connect to it.
Sayoni, Sai Tu Hi, I mean all of these
Rooh
songs.
Ki Hai Pyas, Chale De Saath, and so many songs. I
So
mean,
many inspirational, and the
they might not
lyrics
be a very big hit songs commercially, but you just still listen to those songs. So yeah.
So you were inspired by basically two things: their ethos and their musical, genres, and the way they were like
way Salman used to
mind-blowing,
play guitar, running around, and
back when Ali had hair.
Ali Asmat running around at the same
And they
years,
also had this outlook, Ahmed, if you remember, a turban that they're wearing and a rock star kind of a look, and many youngsters are following them.
Yeah, I think that was a complete following Junoon. even till now is a complete cult.
It's a complete cult, and I would tell you something. I'm not going to take the name, ladies and gentlemen, but there was a film, there was a movie from our neighboring countries, and everybody knew that the whole outlook that they copied was like, you know,
well,
I cannot say it.
Things happen like that, but it's very interesting that because
it was very inspiring, not just in Pakistan, but throughout the world.
But you can actually relate to this, that now times have changed, music has changed, certainly. Some people, including your inspirations, are not happy with the way the musical industry has gone to. I mean, there's a lot less thought going in, there's a lot less poetry going in, compositions aren't the same anymore.
More commercial music.
Point.
Yeah, so
commercial music.
yeah, commercial music. What's your take on that?
Well, I think everybody has their right to produce whatever kind of music they want, and they have their own audience to it. But I always believe that, you know, people still listen to the 80s rock songs from America, the rock bands.
But why is that? Why do those songs never get old? Why?
Because they were classic songs. You know, songs grow with age and they become part of your memory. And even the new generation, music has no obviously boundaries, right? So anything that sounds good to you, or you connect with it through lyrics or through music, the melody, so then you are obviously connected to it. So the songs never get old. You might not like a new song, you might like a song from the 80s. So that's the same thing. And the audience is different. So me making a music that's not relevant to the this decade or something, it doesn't bother me, because, you know, as long as you're making something that you feel is right, you're connected to it, then, you know, you'll always find someone out there to listen to.
So you're basically saying that you're making this music for your sake and not for a commercial purpose. What is famous?
A true artist always makes music for their own sake, because unless and until they connect with the music, you can't expect anybody else to connect with the music.
And that's where the divide comes in.
And the music or the compositions that are written with heart and you connect to it, they last longer than the songs that are commercially produced. They might get more likes.
That's why
we
always have go-to songs in mind, don't we? Because I think those songs are definitely classics. I'll still get up every day, and while driving to work or any place, I'll go and, you know, just play Lionel Richie and his Hello. I think that was,
that's an
you know,
all-time
or listen to
classic.
MJ, or listen to probably Guns N' Roses back in the days as well, or the Eagles. I think Hotel
November
California.
Rain, knocking on Hotel California.
Hotel California.
I mean, still, I mean, you can listen to it so many times and you never get tired of it. The
and
solo
you never forget the lyrics as well.
So this was a question that Ahmed asked, that why there's such huge difference when we talk about evolution of music. Why can't we have those kind of songs?
I think we're getting
again?
old, mine.
No, I think we basically what happens is we are in the East over here, we are mostly inspired by the West now. Okay?
Yep.
Obviously, when the rock music came, we had inspiration from there, but we had our own touch as well to the music, like Junoon did, the Fusion, and other bands as well. But now, since the music industry or the music scene in the West changed, it became more pop and rock and techno and all that stuff.
Rap.
So people have been, the young generation has been listening to that, right? So they grow up listening to that kind of music, and the new artists tend to sort of, you know, produce that kind of music.
But it's interesting because some of these young artists still have to go towards the classics and try to remake them. That's how probably they want to.
I don't really like the concept of remaking a song. If you're an artist, you should be able to, you know,
But,
produce your own song. Whether people like it or not, you should make your own songs. That should be original. If you're just doing a cover, you're covering the songs, then that means you just have a good voice and you're just covering other songs.
But there's another aspect to it. I think there's a lot of youth out there who haven't even listened to the original tracks until they were remixed. You know, bringing back those things with the modern equipment, maybe.
Would you rather go for a remix one or the old classic
Of
one?
course, there's no replacement for the classic one, of course, but that is also
Well,
important.
the remix
like I
is
said,
good.
we're from that generation now.
If the remix is good, that's fine. If it's not, then obviously you can't do much about it.
Definitely we can. But I mean, so many young singers out there. Probably, I think there are huge numbers. You highlighted your journey. There are certain challenges and barriers. One does need to overcome them. What do you think should be the defining factor for any artist?
I think a lot of people, you know, lose heart because everyone wants instant fame these days. And,
exactly,
yeah.
right.
I mean, you make music. It's not. It doesn't reach its masses, so you just lose heart and you stop making it. Financially, obviously, not everybody is in a position to keep on recording or make videos or something. And like I said, if you keep on making music, there will be a song that will be a super hit. If you keep on making pure music,
someday you're
like.
going to be able to
you're
make
gonna
that
make
masterpiece.
you're gonna make it. So that's what it is, and I think the thing is that you just need to keep on working, and you just need to keep
and
on
don't
making
get
music.
disheartened.
Be honest.
Even if you think that it's not commercially viable or something, just keep on making as a hobby. Just keep on recording new tracks. That actually lets you be in that zone of creation, like you keep on creating, and you keep on getting inspired as well. So I think that's important.
So, Junaid, what about the writings? Do you write as well? For your own songs, you just,
Yeah, I've written, actually, this is the only lyrics that I got it from Allama Iqbal, but the other ones I've written myself.
Lovely.
I try my best to write whatever I can.
To put yourself into the song.
Because you are the one who's singing, so you know how to express it. It's
Definitely.
all the emotions and feelings in a particular moment. You just keep writing it down, and then you just sort of try to fit them into the melody, or just see if like they rhyme together and everything goes fine. Yeah.
But Junaid, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
it's
for
been a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.
And I think such an inspiring journey, and such
indeed.
inspiration.
Such
because
inspiration
I
for
think the
youngsters.
defining factor has to be: do not take it just for commercial purposes. Do it as a hobby, and that's where creativity
And
comes.
as Junaid said, do not get disheartened. Just keep working, keep writing, and there would come a day when you'd finally be able to make a masterpiece of your own.
Absolutely, and I think that will be the message for today from me, Maheen, and our entire team of World This Morning.
True.
Wishing you a very good morning your way and a great, splendid day ahead. But we're not going to leave you like this. We're going to have Junaid sing you a song, and that's going to be goodbye from all of us.
From all of us.
This is another song that's already released. It's called Tu Bata. अनजाना हूँ मैं क्या तू बता बेगाना कब से हुआ तू बता तो क्यों तुम रूठे हो मुझसे जैसे मैं कोई अनजान हूँ दीवाना नहीं क्या मैं तेरा परवाना नहीं क्या मैं तेरा तू मुझसे प्यार